Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Need more energy throughout the day? Looking for a kick to your workout? RockinThatIDLife.com has you covered with delicious flavors you've grown to love in tropical fruit and mixed berry, but now fall in love with the new fruit punch and orange flavors. Try them all at RockinThatIDLife.com.
Realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage LLC makes the moving process easier. Work with a realtor who plays and studies the game and will work as hard as the boys on the ice to get you the best deal. Check out Mike on the web at strikewithmike.com and jumpstart your move today. That's strikewithmike.com.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the greatest podcast about the St. Louis Blues that you've ever heard. That's right. It's Let's Go Blues Radio, the show that's so good, it'll make you want to put on some skates and hit the ice yourself. I'm your host, Kurt Price. And as always, I'm joined by the hilarious Jeff Ponder and the dapper Bill Day. But folks, we couldn't do this show without our secret weapon, the man behind the curtain, the wizard of sound, the one and only producer Austin. Now, you might be wondering who the heck producer Austin is, and honestly, we're still not entirely sure ourselves. He's the strange little man who lives in the basement of the studio, and we're pretty sure he subsists on nothing but coffee and old hockey pucks. But hey, he's the guy who makes us sound good, so we'll keep him around. On this show, we're going to be breaking down all the latest Blues news, giving you our expert analysis on the team, and maybe even cracking a few jokes along the way. We'll have interviews with players, coaches, and anyone else who's willing to talk to us, and we'll even let you in on some behind-the-scenes secrets that the other podcasts don't want you to know. So buckle up, grab a beer, and get ready for a wild ride, because Let's Go Blues Radio is about to take you on a journey that you'll never forget. And who knows, maybe producer Austin will even make an appearance. Just don't look him in the eyes.
Courtesy of Chat GPT, that intro.
That was
right?
literally an intro written by Chat GPT. That was wonderful. Oh man, that was awesome.
I like the part about the other information that other podcasts don't want you to know, like they're withholding information from you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's like a secret Blues podcast society, and we're leaking everything right now.
They hate us.
That is amazing. So if we run that again, will it come up, spit out a new intro?
Yeah, probably. I gave it a few details, like our names and everything, but
it's learned a whole lot since you did last week.
I mentioned nothing about beer, and it knew that beer was a thing with the show, so that's kind of funny.
Well, it didn't mention this, so we should go ahead and give it a quick mention here. So thank you, ChatGPT, you freaking liar. Special thanks goes out to our sponsors, RockinThatIDLife.com, StrikeWithMike.com, and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. So ChatGPT left that out, so we'll make sure to get that in there.
Yeah, we can. When I told ChatGPT to write us, or asked it to, I forgot to put in the sponsorship stuff. So
I love how you rephrase to asked, because you're like, I don't tell it anything. It does what it wants, because I don't want to piss it off.
You don't want to make it mad. When it becomes self-aware, you want to be on its side.
Yeah, right. That's why every time I talk to my Google Home, I'm always like, thank you. Just because, like, why do you say thank you? I'm like, you never know. You just, hey, don't fuck with that guy. He used to say thank you to me.
You don't want Google Voice. I hate that guy.
Yeah, I used to scream at my my old car Bluetooth thing. It was not Google connected, but no way will I do that now. It's Google Assistant the whole way. Never gonna piss that thing off.
So,
if you know what's good for you.
Matt Harris, AI generated intro to the podcast is scarily accurate. That's what we said because Kurt posted that in our chat, and we were like, oh God, that is way too accurate.
Oh man. We got a number of things to talk about tonight on the show. We got the Blues are officially eliminated from playoff contention, even though they're playing, quite well right now in the last 11 games or so. And we'll talk about the playoff lottery coming up, or the draft lottery coming up, and where the Blues may finish there. They're in danger of playing their way out of the lottery, even though we got some tough games coming up. And let's see what else we got. Blues and Flyers game we'll go over. And the Hockey Hall of Fame debuts a new exhibit celebrating women's history in the sport. And Daniel Briere's son is in some hot water. Some of you may have heard what he did during he was at a bar, right?
Yeah,
it was a bar, and he misbehaved. He's being kind of a big dick.
Tisk.
Yeah,
don't misbehave at a bar, son.
Yeah, and he has been removed from the Mercyhurst University's NCAA hockey team.
Yep. And let's talk about Pride Night. And so Matt Harris will be discussing that, but I wanted to go ahead and read his comment here. And our resident proud member of the community. He says, by the way, to throw my thoughts out there, I'm overall very happy with the Blues Pride Day. I'm happy with their representation and their strong acknowledgement of the night. And I'm happy with where the money was from a chunk of the proceeds. Also, Shen is an absolute legend for his comments. Give him the C. Yeah, I did love Shen's comments as well.
Yeah, I love how he stepped up. That was captain material.
Mm-hmm.
What he said. Couldn't have said it any better. While at the same time, he's respecting everybody else's, which you have to do. You can't come out as a player, and you can't, out your teammates. You can't condemn your teammates necessarily. He was very politically fair about the whole thing, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Unless your teammate is Tony D'Angelo, right?
Or one of the Stahl brothers.
One of the Stahl brothers.
True. Yeah. Or James Reimer.
Yeah, nobody, I mean, none of the Blues, and we can talk about more of this later, but no, we don't know if it was specific Blues players who didn't want to wear the jersey, and then they, the whole team decided not to wear it, or the Blues just announced they weren't going to wear the warm-up jerseys, but everything else apparently went off very well. But it is a shame that one of the most visual aspect about Pride Night was not on hand.
Well, we are very, very welcoming to our Pride community. So I just want to point out, first of all, one of my favorite shirts that I own here, my Center Ice Brewery Pride shirt. I got the very last one. I think you guys were with me when I got this. I asked if they had any left, and whoever was at the bar was like, yeah, we don't have any left. They're gone. I'm like, man, just missed it. And then I came back to the bar like 5 minutes later, and somebody threw me one. They're like, there was one left in the back. And I'm like, yes. It's like, I don't care if this is a small, I'll wear it.
I'm going to squeeze into this thing.
No, it fits perfect. It's like one of my favorite shirts. So,
you know what? If it were too small, just crop off the bottom and wear it as is, a nice little tight crop top. Yeah. You could wear it.
Little Jim Edmonds love. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jim Edmonds love. You could wear it to the naked bike ride in the Grove.
Or just be naked
this summer, or just be naked. Yeah, just the crop top and just naked the rest of the way.
Oh,
that'd be a good look, wouldn't it?
I don't understand how anybody can ride a bike naked. Oh, no, thank you.
I've been to the naked bike ride a couple times, and that's the one thing I don't understand. I'm not naked when I go. Most people aren't, but I want to say a shockingly high number of people are naked, even though it is called the naked bike ride. There's probably 20% of the people there are naked, which is a lot.
I'm sure I've told this on the show before, but the first time I never even, being a St. Charles kid, I had never heard of the naked bike ride. And for those not in St. Louis are probably like, what the hell? There is literally an event every year. It's in May, right?
Usually like July. So hot.
July. Okay. So it's literally a naked bike ride. They do it in downtown St. Louis through the Grove, through Soulard, I believe. And they just ride around town. Like you said, most people aren't, but there are a couple people who get fully naked and go ride their bike downtown. Oh. And first time I ever witnessed it, I was at a bachelor party, and we had just, let's just say, partaken in some party favors on the bus. And we're riding through town, and one of my buddies was like, oh, yeah, it's the naked bike ride tonight. And we look out, and there's just tons of naked people riding their bikes. Now, imagine that as somebody who's like high for like the third time in his life. I'm like, what
is this what happens when you get
what
high?
is going on? This is happening in St. Louis all the time? Like, what is happening here?
It's the World Naked Bike Ride, so it is not just St. Louis. They schedule this event in other big cities around the country too, around the world
That
too. I believe.
blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe this is a real thing.
Yeah. How long ago was it that happened when you saw people go by for the first time?
21. I would have been 21, so
Oh, it's been a while.
12 years?
Okay.
No, God. 16 years.
You're much older than that today,
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, right.
That was before I
Carry
did
the
it.
one.
Yeah. Remember the pandemic. Everybody discounts the pandemic.
Yep.
It still counts.
No, 16. I'm 37. I was going to be 38. So actually, it was probably
You're 37
37 going on 38. And
in
it
a
was-
row.
Shut up.
From Clerks. From Clerks.
I know.
37. You suck 37 dicks in a row.
Oh, my.
Anyway, hey, that was a topical joke for the following up the naked bike ride discussion.
So, well, one more thing that I want to mention since Austin's here. You see this butte behind me. Austin, what do you think of this, bud? Let's bring him on. Come on over here, Austin. What do you think of this beautiful trophy I have here?
You're a cheating son of a bitch.
Oh, is that what it is?
You
Not
are.
that I fucking won a hockey tournament against Austin fair and square. Hey, guys, you want to hear what happened in the semifinal game
do.
against Austin's team?
I do.
So we were down 3-1. Austin, was it 3-1? Yeah, it was 3-1
Oh, we don't need to
3-1
talk about this.
with
We don't
30
need to-
with a minute 36 left, down
Wow.
3-1, and
Against Austin's team? Against
against
Austin's team?
Austin's team.
Okay.
They were going to beat us, and we steamrolled through the round robin round. So it was like going to be a huge upset, and we're like, oh man, I can't believe we're going to lose this. I put all my scores on the rink for the final 6 minutes of the game, just loaded my lines. And we scored 3 goals in the final minute 36. Last one came with like 10.6 on the clock.
It's because I wasn't out there.
Yeah, trust me.
Did you
would
have
scored 5 if you were out there?
Did you have the blue Austin? Were you using the Blues defense in this game?
Your goalie was fucking insane.
He was amazing.
I actually, even though we won and I was excited, I actually felt bad for your goalie because he stonewalled us all game. Like we had dominated play pretty much all game, and all of a sudden in the end we finally pushed through. But it was just like the dude was just overwhelmed. He probably faced in a 30-minute game. He probably faced 35, 40 shots.
Yeah,
But
Like,
he
was
allowed
insane.
3 goals in the closing minutes to lose the game. Obviously, he sucks.
You know what?
no,
You've
our
really turned me.
defense- our
You've really
defense
turned
is
me
great.
around on this, Kurt. You're right. He's terrible. Yeah, I'll say. I know a lot of people disagreed. Save of the tournament was on me with about 2 minutes left. I was out there briefly because I'm not a goal scorer, but I was out there in front of the net. Puck bounces in front. I have a wide open, gaping net, and I was like confident. Nobody on me. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. This is gonna make it a 1-goal game. Fucking dude. As I shoot it, just literally does like stretches across Superman, like gloves my shot, wide open net. And I just was like, I just threw my hands in the air. I'm like, I was like, right there, that was it. That's the game. Like if I would have scored there, we're back in it. Like that's the game right there. Luckily, we scored right after that. But I went to the bench and I'm like, it's over. There's no way we're beating this guy.
Yeah, it's
I
over.
scored again.
If I can't score, no one's scoring.
But I mean,
scored.
dude, I had a wide open net. Oh man, it was the widest net I've ever had open with the
Now,
goalie actually in.
Okay, be honest now. Did you put it where you wanted?
I should have roofed it.
Okay.
I just saw the empty net and I just shot it at the empty net. It was off the floor. I did shoot it about waist level, but I should have roofed it, and he would have had no chance. But I just thought, man, if I roof it, I'm gonna miss the fucking net. I just need to put it on the net.
That's not a winner's mentality. That's what I hear.
Speaking as a forward, Always, even when always put it where the goalie can't get it. Even if it's
Yeah, I know.
it was like I'm gonna put this top shelf on this empty net.
Throw the
But-
hands to the ceiling.
But dude, it was still just a miraculous save, and I was like, I even skated to the bench, and my team, the guys who end up scoring all the goals, were even like, yeah, that was it. That was the save. We're done. And I'm like, yep, sorry boys, but we ended up coming back and scoring 3. And yes, I will give credit to Austin. He had a pretty nice snipe in that game as well.
I did.
Was it a goal or just a good snipe?
No, it was a goal.
It was a goal.
Yeah, he scored. Yeah.
I scored twice, right? I had 2 goals in that
2
tournament.
in
Yeah,
the
I scored.
tournament. Yeah.
I scored on Kincaid and Frank.
Yep. Yeah, our goalie was Frank Hart. And
I saw
he
that. I
was,
saw the pictures. Yeah.
he was phenomenal. He played the best. In my opinion, he deserved MVP of the whole tournament. He
Right.
was so good.
Frank has. I was known Frank for a long time, and I didn't realize how good he had gotten.
Yeah.
The last Ponder Cup I played in, he stoned me a couple times. I had a chance where I came in, got a pass left side, come in, fake forehand, and go quick backhand up high, and I got all of it, and it was going tucked upper corner. He's lefty? No, righty.
No, he catches right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's,
So and
he's a weirdo.
yeah, and his, I mean, he stoned me, and I was like, holy shit! He was going the wrong way, and he corrected and got up there, and I was like, damn. And the only one I scored on him was off my back, a shot that grazed off my back and beat him.
With
And
the
shoot.
exception of Austin's goal, the nice snipe he had, and maybe 1 or 2 more, almost every other goal was either off a bad turnover by one of us or just an insane deflection, like going off somebody's leg or like going off a hand. He had everything else all night. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
so
both of our goalies were great.
Well,
oh
congratulations.
yeah, oh dude,
Frank
yeah.
played a
Thank
hell of a tournament.
Yeah, he did. He was phenomenal. And yeah, your goalie again, Rushing. I think his name was Adam Rushing.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
Wasn't
I've
there.
never met the guy, but he was really good.
I wasn't
yes.
there when everybody introduced themselves.
Yeah, Austin missed the first game. He had a blown tire.
Oh. So I guess Frank's fully recovered and he's playing because he had a throat issue.
He is still going through his treatment.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
He's such a fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
Absolute badass, going through cancer treatment and playing in a tournament, and not only playing in a tournament, kicking
Winning
ass
the
in the
fucking
tournament
thing.
and winning the whole fucking thing.
It's got to be exhausted.
He looked great. Afterwards, he hung out. He was like, "Oh no, I'm good." And I'm like, "Dude, how are you such a badass? You got kryptonite in your veins or something?"
It's funny you say that because he's like a
Right.
Superman fan.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
all his masks that I've ever seen him wear were Superman tributes. So
And he paints his own too.
yeah.
He's really good at.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those guys just good at everything.
Yeah, he's definitely come a long way.
Oh.
Like, when we first, he was first came up when we were playing at Oak Hill.
Yep.
And it's just starting. He had the desire, and it took a while, but he was, when I saw of him the last time I was out at the Ponder Cup, he was pretty damn amazing, and
He was
super
telling
happy.
me-
Super happy to hear that he's on the sounds like on the right side of this battle. So
You would never know by looking at him that he's going through shit. Like, no offense to my friend Scott Kincaid, who we held the tournament for a couple years ago, but he was pretty rough for a while. It was leukemia. It's gonna destroy
Right.
you. Frank, you couldn't even tell. This dude is just looking great, acting great. I mean, just everything about him. His sense of humor is still there. He's got a great outlook on it. He knows he's going to beat it. Just love it. So
Man.
inspirational.
So did you guys sleep together or something, or the way you're talking about?
I
him is
wish. Good Lord. Man, I wish.
like-
I would be so lucky, man.
Well, congratulations, Jeff,
Thank
and
you.
and Austin as well for almost getting there.
Yeah. Too bad your team couldn't hold on to a lead.
Yeah.
Well, we play by the rules, Jeff.
Oh,
Whose fault was it, Austin? Whose fault was it, Austin? If you could blame
On my
one
team?
Joe Wolf.
I'm kidding.
No, I will get his exact name. I'm not going to put him on blast.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh,
I can't.
so you actually do have somebody in mind. Who's
Yes.
I was totally joking.
Yes.
I
was-
hope it's who I hope it's who I think it is.
It's exactly who you think it is.
Yes. Somebody
on.
I'm not a fan of.
See, the right thing to do is to blame yourself if you're on the spot.
He wasn't even on the rink.
Well, what I'm saying, well, inspirationally, he didn't have it right from the bench. He wasn't cheering loud enough or something. I don't know. You can't.
All right, we
you can't.
stop talking about beer league hockey here, but I do just want to show off
More
the beautiful
it's more
trophy that we
entertaining.
win for this.
It's more entertaining.
Okay, let's do the official beers of episode number 407. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is CPrice12. Jeff's is J Ponder 94, and Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33. And Jeff, thank you for taking care of the intro because I was finishing my Lions choice, which I was enjoying.
You know what? I think we determined last episode that Lion's Choice beats everything.
Lions
So-
choice takes a backseat to no one.
Yeah, exactly. So like for me, it's like, hey, Blues are playing. I need my Lion's Choice. Show starting. I need my Lion's.
Even started eating yet? Like
I wasn't
just
like
got back home.
judging. I wasn't judging. I was just like, oh, you didn't start eating yet. Fucking eat, dude. That's Lion's Choice. Don't let that go cold.
It's good reheat too.
All right. I think we're at Kurt
are-
starting now.
are we?
right?
I don't even have
Who knows?
my Lion's Choice Coca-Cola in my nice Lion's Choice cup. A
Not
large.
root beer.
It was
Doing
a
it
large.
wrong.
No, I'm not doing it wrong. It was a large king meal, roast beef. Quite good.
Gotta be the root beer.
Got some extra seasoning and some honey mustard and some au jus. Quite tasty.
I think Ken's been listening to us too much. His joke here. Did Austin score twice on the ice or with one of the chicks in the stands? Austin, there was maybe a total of 3 women in the stands.
About 3 or 4.
And one was a crack whore. Just
One
kinda
might
wandering
have been
around.
a guy. One might have been a girl. I don't know.
One was our photographer, so we'll count her. We had Peyton at the bar, so
Oh, I
there's
forgot
2.
about Peyton. Well,
All right, Bill.
all right.
Me?
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had this one before, but Keep It Crunchy granola stout.
That sounds awesome.
It's
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
A granola stout. I have never
Unless
heard of
it's
that.
crunchy. It's not a crunchy beer, is it?
No, it keeps it crunchy, but it's not actually crunchy.
Okay.
It's like Pop Rocks, where it's kind of crunchy and it explodes in your mouth.
It's the weirdest sensation. So it's a from Omegang, out of Cooperstown, New York. Ever heard of Cooperstown?
I've heard of it.
They got a little thing there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's a racetrack.
Yes.
I thought it was a
It's
circus.
Your son
Circus.
owns the town.
Right. My son
Right.
Cooper.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this
Good
is really good. For as compared to many oatmeal stouts I've had, first time I've had a granola stout, it's really good. Only complaint is you got to pour it really slow because it foams like nothing else.
They say that you're supposed to pour beer fast
Not this one.
because you've seen the analysis that you basically pour a regular beer like it's a nitro beer.
Yeah.
And you let all that foam out and if you do that in the pour, then you're not going to feel near as bloated when you drink a beer because it'll do all the expanding in the glass as opposed to in your stomach.
Mm.
So that's a thing that people do.
Well, I have one left. I will try it with that. I just have a feeling that I'm gonna
In a
need,
really big glass.
I'm gonna need like a 32-ounce pitcher for this. So, but no, very good, like this a lot.
Cool.
Well,
Jeff?
my beer is one I've never had before. It's tasty. It's one I've never had. It's the Blue Moon Mango Wheat. Basically, like I told you guys off air, it tastes like a mango cart. If you have never had that, it's basically, I would imagine this is their answer to the mango cart. But it's good. It's tasty, nice and summery. I thought it would be a good one with the weather changing.
You said so Mango Cart, which I mentioned. That's like one of the only beers that I'll get at Cardinals Nation. I enjoy it, and they have it there. They have AB products on draft there, and that's one that they have, and I always get it. As speaking of which, Cardinals Nation, just real quick, DJ Joe is back behind the mic officially for the official Cards pregame party at Cardinals Nation. So you should, if you have not been to the official St. Louis Cardinals pregame party before a Cardinals game, you need to go. We talked about it last year. We gave away tickets last year. Great time.
Where can you get tickets for that? Is it just through Ticketmaster, Cardinals.com?
I think it's CardinalsNation.com. It might be on Cardinals.com too. I forgot actually.
You can
let
get
Austin look it up.
You
Austin
can
will
get
look it
Joe in a back alley on the other side of the
right.
stadium.
You can also tag. You can also hit up DJ Joe on Twitter. His handle is at Cards Pregame, I believe. So, and he gives away tickets sometimes on Twitter to people who respond, and it's 2.5 hours before the game starts, and you get all you can eat, all you can drink, and there's entertainment, prizes it gives away. It's
like
music.
$40 per
it's like
ticket,
40,
right?
45, yeah. And it's all you can eat for 2.5 hours, $45.
Looks like it's you go to MLB.com/Cardinals, so basically the Cardinals site.
Okay.
And then there's a ticket section, and there's a pregame party area.
Okay. All right, there you go.
So yeah.
And I think if you look on, I think there is a promo code that you can use to save $5. I think, but I didn't get the information from Joe's account on Twitter. He posts stuff like that, all the time. So
and well worth it. Again, if you're new to the show here, you never heard us talk about it. We won't go into great detail here, but like you said, all you can eat, all you can drink. Great entertainment from Joe. There's games being played. He's somewhat of a comedian, so he's telling jokes the whole time, and it's just a great time. Man, I told my buddy about it, and he is like so excited. We always go to a game every year. For whatever reason, we didn't last year, but him and I, we make it a point every year to go to a Cards game. And I'm like, this year we're doing the Cards pregame party, and he's like, yeah, what's that? And I told him, he's like, so you're basically saying we can get absolutely loaded before the game starts for $40 or $50 or whatever it is.
45, I think.
And yeah. And basically that'll last us the whole game. We don't have to buy a drink down there. No, that's exactly what you're saying. Yes, that's it. And he's like, holy shit, that sounds amazing. I'm like, I know, it is.
What would $45 get you inside the stadium? A couple of beers and a hot dog and a pretzel, maybe?
I would say $45 is typically what my wife and I would spend on pretzels and 2 beers.
Yeah, it's not cheap. The beers are like $14 or something like that.
Yep.
So it's a really good deal. Hit it up. Let's see. So I guess we can get right into it. The Blues are officially eliminated from playoff contention. That happened on Sunday. The 4-3 shootout loss to Boston mathematically eliminated the St. Louis Blues. The first no postseason trip in the Berube era. So, I mean, I think this was a long time. We saw this coming from a mile away, right? I mean, this is not something that is a surprise. I guess right now the focus is on where we're going to finish, right? In the lottery. So, you guys, I would ask you guys if you're disappointed. You're probably, I know you probably are, but what, like your mindset right now, as far as you've come to grips with how this team is and what this team needs, and this team is not, as it stands right now, close necessarily. So,
well, Andy Baker from I believe it's Fox 2 that he's with. He tweeted like a week and a half ago, maybe something about, I know we're supposed to be rooting for losses, and I know it seems impossible, but what if this team just goes on a run and makes the playoffs? Would you be excited? And everybody's like, no, draft picks. And I'm like,
wait, if we made the playoffs?
Yeah.
They'd be
there's people saying they don't want that. They know this team's not winning a cup. So
always
what's the point?
But if we can't win the division, they don't want to be in the playoffs.
And for me, it's different from even last year when there were some people, last year saying they're not going to beat the Avalanche. So what's the point? This is much different to me because yes, going into this one, 100%, no way they win the Stanley Cup. There's no way. I just, maybe a sliver, I guess, because they're in the playoffs, but it's very unlikely. But I would still love it if it would have happened, because it's like, this is the team going forward for the most part. Like, this is the roster for the next couple of years, with a few minor exceptions. If we can see them play well down the stretch here after all these trades and still make the playoffs, or even just finish like a point or two out, holy shit, that would be incredible. I would be like, yes, this team has the drive. Add a couple more pieces next year and you never know. So yeah, I would have loved it.
I've always been on the, if you can make the playoffs, make it. You know, I'm not. I mean, I understand the you know, where people are coming from when they say, I don't want this team to make the playoffs. I want, you know, the finish low and draft picks. I get it, but I don't agree with it, because we've gone over it before. You know, so many cool things happen in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, the end goal, you do want to win the Stanley Cup. It's all about the Stanley Cup. I get it. Only one team can win it, though. And my God, the stories that we have from years where the Blues made the playoffs and didn't win the cup, holy hell! I mean, tons of stories, fantastic moments. Even just last season, right, with the water bottle and everything with Kadri. I mean, just so. I mean, I there's always something going on. Playoff hockey is amazing. Yeah, yes, it's all about the cup, but playoff hockey is the most exciting playoff format in sports. So, I mean, I'm all behind that.
Right, you get that, you know, extra week and a half at least of, you know, and it's not even just an extra week and a half. It's, you get that payoff of getting excited, being nervous all day long. How's it going to go tonight? How's it going to go tonight?
Yep.
There's nothing like that. The regular season, except when you're, you know, the Blues in 19, when you're playing so far from behind to make it, right, that you don't have those nerves like you do in the playoffs, right? It's just thinking back to, you know, to last year and going into the game when Kadri injured Bennington, right? It's like, this game could do it. This game could flip the script. And, you know, then of course we know what happens. But yeah, not having that always sucks.
Yep.
That said, this team has been so shitty, they don't deserve to make the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
They are where they should be.
Right. They're they are. And yeah, I'm gonna miss it, but hey, I can latch on to another team, pick a team from the East, pick a team from the West to, you know, have a rooting interest. There's gonna be hockey on every night. You know, the fact that it doesn't involve the Blues, yeah, it sucks, but why should this team be there?
It's almost like a stress reliever. We can take a breather as Blues fans this playoffs. It's, you don't have that, like you said, that all day long kind of that nervous tension leading up to a game. You don't have that necessarily. So, you know, you can take a breather this offseason and come back at it next year. And to me, I don't really have a team I'm pulling for hard. There are some playoff series that I'm just going to sit back and love to watch. And I'm going to root against Boston, anybody but Boston.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. Colorado versus Boston, it's Colorado all the way for me. Anybody but Boston. I do not care.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
They're in Boston.
Boston.
I don't know. That's a good. You say anyone but Boston. Seeing Colorado repeat, I don't think I want that either.
Yeah, but
if it comes down to Colorado or Boston, you're probably right. I think I'm probably rooting Colorado, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be happy.
I'll say this: I'm not rooting for Colorado. I'm rooting against Boston. There's a big difference there.
That's true. Yeah, just like when the Blackhawks would be in the playoffs, and pretty much there'd be teams they play like Detroit, and I'd be like, I'm not really rooting for Detroit, but I'm rooting against Chicago, so I'm kind of rooting for Detroit.
I kind of want to see Toronto finally do something.
I want to see them lose.
Do you? I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm all on board for the drama because you know what's going to happen. But I wouldn't mind seeing them go a couple rounds, and I don't know. I'm in awe of the whole Toronto drama train every playoffs
Yeah.
now. It's so funny.
Yeah, as a Canadians fan, you know, it is everything, you know, against, you know, my being to actively root for the Leafs. But this would be the one year I wouldn't be so disappointed because we could see Ryan O'Reilly get another Stanley Cup. I would love that.
Right.
But you know, I you know, I just can't bring myself to actively root for them. When O'Reilly first got traded there, I'm like, oh, maybe I can do it, and I just can't get there.
I think I'll rephrase.
I'm all for just seeing it get blown up. That's what I want.
I think I'll rephrase. I don't think it's gonna be like a rooting for Toronto necessarily. I just think I'm gonna enjoy whatever happens, whether it be a disappointing playoff exit again, because you know Toronto's gonna explode. The media is gonna explode. Or if they go somewhere, then the hype is just gonna build and it's gonna be interesting. So either way, it's gonna be very entertaining for surrounding Toronto in the playoffs this year. And they have a tough road to go to get anywhere to advance. I mean,
right. It's Tampa again. And then
Boston,
if you beat Tampa, then you get Boston.
Yeah.
Right.
Carolina's there, but they lost what's his face?
Svechnikov.
Yeah.
Ron Francis.
There's a long time ago. Yeah. Long time ago.
Rod Brindamore.
Yeah. What's his name?
Brett Hedican.
The moment's passed. Brett Hedican.
Eric Stahl.
Carter Survey.
What's the guy we had? Defenseman. Cole. No, was it Cole?
God.
Had like a really like solid face.
Sean Hill.
Yes. Sean Hill. Solid face.
He did. He had one of those faces you do not forget.
He had a chiseled face. You know, it was like an anvil. His face was. But I mean, there's so many tough teams in the East.
Yeah, it's the conference of death, right? So who I haven't looked at the standings lately. Who's Boston getting in the first round?
Let's take a look.
I don't know if it's official yet. I think it's not. The only series
yet.
that's official right now is Tampa and Toronto.
Right, because of Boston's dominance.
Probably the Islanders. Right now, right? They get the second wild card, right?
Yep.
So it's
Let's go
right now.
Islanders.
It's the Islanders. Right now it's well, it could be Pittsburgh. They're neck and neck. It could be Florida, Pittsburgh. One of three. It's going to be Florida, the Islanders, or Pittsburgh.
Let's go all three of those teams. I don't even like Pittsburgh, but man, I want to see them beat Boston.
Oh, I would. I don't hate Pittsburgh. I never have. I think it dates back when I was a kid. I love their logo. So
I used to love them as a kid because I was a big Mario and Yamir fan, but I don't like them anymore.
I think I lashed onto them when they won back-to-back. Was it the early 90s?
Yeah.
It was? Yeah.
Yeah. Beat the North Stars and the Blackhawks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Blues have won, 7 of the last 11 games. They're 7-2-2. Not exactly what some fans want the team to be doing right now. They have wins versus Washington, Winnipeg, Detroit, Anaheim, Vancouver, Chicago, Philadelphia, and overtime losses versus Detroit and Boston. The overtime loss to Boston on Sunday was Boston's 60th win this season, and it also, as I mentioned, eliminated the Blues from the playoffs. Boston joined the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens, who had 60 wins, the 1995-96 Detroit Red Wings, who had 62, and the 2018-19 Tampa Bay Lightning, who also had 62 wins, as the only teams to reach the mark. So they have a good shot.
What did the Lightning do in 2018-19?
They didn't do anything.
They didn't
They
win a
got
game.
They
swept
lost by
got
Columbus.
swept.
Yeah,
So let's see that again.
yeah.
God, wouldn't that be amazing?
How? Yeah, the Islanders sweep the. Well, who has the best chance of beating Boston? Florida.
Mm.
Probably.
I think
Florida,
it's the Islanders.
You think so?
Yeah. I like their structure against Boston more than I like Pittsburgh or Florida.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh and Florida have better players, but I think the Islanders play a good system against good teams. So I'd love to see it.
Bo Horvat, when he gets into the playoffs, is a monster. So
Yes, yeah, we all Blues fans know that. Yeah, a couple OT losses there to Detroit and Boston. That sucked, but yeah, I mean, you see some wins there. Some decent teams. I mean, Washington's not a playoff team, but they're still battling. Winnipeg's battling for playoffs.
The Winnipeg win was impressive, 3-0. That was an impressive win.
That was.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you think, go back to the Blues losing 3-0 in Winnipeg after starting the season so hot. What the script is, right? Came at the wrong time of the season, I think.
Yep.
And I think a few weeks ago we talked about where we thought the Blues would finish, and I think they'll finish like the 5th or 6th worst record in the NHL, something like that. But right after that, they started scoring goals, and their schedule got weaker, and they went on this run. So now they're 10th, and the bottom 11 are eligible for the lottery. So they're 10th. Let's see the wins for the Blues.
Can you imagine right now just play out that the Blues are a playoff team right now, right? Like they didn't trade any of those guys. They've had a decent season going into this stretch. If they were battling anybody for playoff positioning, like, if we win the next 5 games, we take first place to the Central. The schedule they have right now, would you not have loved that? Licking your chops going into the end of March? Like, oh my God, Blues are going to take the division.
Well,
good Lord.
Except for our last 4 games are tough.
Right.
Right.
But up until now, the last 11 games or so, winnable games, and the Blues have won them. 10th worst team right now, tied with Detroit, but Detroit has the tiebreaker, so they're number 11 right now. So we're in the draft lottery currently, 2 points behind.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if the Blues have a tiebreaker to be in the draft lottery and they lose it to Detroit? How can Detroit still fuck us when they're in the Eastern Conference? Fucking Christ.
We did get Verona though. That's like
that's true.
That is we're holding on hope with Verona.
Detroit is like, they're all just like, hey, let's fuck the Blues over again one more time, just for old time's sake.
2 points behind Ottawa and Buffalo, who are currently outside the bottom 11. Buffalo has a couple of games in hand though. Buffalo, they had it wasn't that long ago. They were like in a wild card spot or very close to it.
Yeah.
They had games in hand. They were just on the outside looking in, look good. And they have just not. They've been Buffalo.
Thompson was injured for a while. Is he back?
Oh, is he? I think
know.
He is. I think he is.
I actually don't know, but he got injured, and their wheels fell off. Buffalo, they haven't had the number 1 pick like Edmonton did, but man, are they not starting to remind you of Edmonton there for a while?
Yeah.
Good Lord, they cannot pull their shit together.
2 picks, right? You should get pretty decent. I mean, they have so much talent on that team at this point, and it just, for whatever reason, they cannot get through an entire season without the bottom falling out. Right? It's painful.
Tage Thompson is back. He played. He actually played on the 4th, and he played on the 25th, 24th, 21st. So he was not for too long.
I think he only missed a game or 2, but it seemed like when he went down, all of a sudden they couldn't win a damn game.
Well, he only has 2 goals in his last, 12 games? 2 goals, that's 12 games? 8 points?
Either way, Buffalo,
cooled off.
man, that's a team that I'm starting to get annoyed with. Like, pull your shit together or just fucking rebuild it again, because I'm tired of seeing them at the bottom of the fucking standings.
I'm not. I mean, I feel bad for Buffalo fans,
I do
but
too.
but on the other hand, I'm just so sick and tired of the O'Reilly Thompson talk and all the crap about look who's good now bullshit. I just it's like, whatever. You guys are
This is all that
terrible.
matters. This is
Yeah.
all that matters, right
I'm like,
here.
you guys are still terrible. You know,
Yep.
win something and then talk. I don't know.
Yep.
So St. Louis's final 4 games are against the Rangers, the Minnesota Wild, and a home versus Dallas to end the season. So that's pretty tough schedule. And those rooting for the Blues to lose may get their wish here in a few of these games. Based on how tight the standings are for the teams we're playing, they could very well be going. The teams we're playing could be going all out in these games. It's because they're fighting for position too. So the Blues could lose out in these 4 games, which would benefit them, right, draft wise. So that would only help them.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, part of me does hope for some losses here, but at the same time, I got tickets to the last game, so I'm like, I kind of hope I see a victory, because I'd love to end the season on a high note.
What if you saw like an 8-7 overtime loss? That'd be kind of like a fun game to watch.
I don't want
right?
to see that. No,
It's a lot of goals.
Give me a 2-1. I don't want to see a lot of goals. Do you know me?
Wait! You had fun last week.
Yes,
I had fun with you guys because I was with you and I was drinking. I don't know what I'll be drinking next Wednesday.
Okay, well, come from behind, steal a point.
Give me a 2-1 overtime loss. I'd be happy with that.
As long as it's
I'm a defensive game. That's what I'm saying. I want to see Bennington play well. I want to see some good defensive play. Give me a 2-1 OT loss. I'll give you a
9.58 save percentage for Bennington in the game.
Sure, that sounds great.
It'd be his highest in like forever in a game.
Yeah, man, they really tried to fucking lose that game last night, didn't they?
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
I was worried.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So the remaining schedules for the teams that the Blues are kind of jockeying with here in these for the final last couple lottery draft positions. Vancouver is 4 points behind St. Louis with 1 game in hand. So we could finish below them. They have games against Chicago, Calgary, Kings, Anaheim, and Arizona. They have a pretty light schedule. So they could be winning some games. Who knows? Washington is 2 points behind St. Louis with 1 game in hand. Montreal, their schedule is at Montreal, Florida, Islanders, Boston, Devils. Very tough schedule. So that's not, you probably can't count on maybe them passing you up in the standings. Detroit is tied with St. Louis with 1 game in hand. They have games against Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. Also tough schedule. Yep. Senators are 2 points ahead of the Blues. Then they play at Florida, against Tampa Bay, Carolina, and then at Buffalo. So there's some tough games there. And Buffalo is 2 points ahead of the Blues with 2 games in hand. And they play at Detroit against Carolina, the Rangers, the Devils, Ottawa, and the Blue Jackets. So a mixed bag there with Buffalo, but they have 2 games in hand. So a lot can happen with Buffalo. I think the worst the Blues could probably finish at this point is maybe the 8th worst record, or the best they could finish, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. And the highest they could finish is maybe 13th. So if they,
honestly, I hate to say it, I think that's their destiny. I think they're
really?
out of the lottery.
Even with our schedule?
Yeah. They're playing good hockey lately. The rest of these teams are playing that great.
We're playing good offensively.
No.
I hope. I think, you know what's funny is I'm saying I think the Blues win, yet you guys are being the optimists.
Yeah.
I think I can see us split in Dallas. Especially the last game of the season. If things can't change for Dallas, they may rest people. So that's the bridge across when you come to it. So maybe a win against Dallas. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you might get 1 point out of Dallas, and I think that would be a overtime loss in the game at home next Wednesday. I think you go to Dallas, and whoever is whether it's Jurenko or Grice gets that start, and maybe Dallas, like you said, rests everybody. I don't see the Blues winning that game.
I hope that Saturday at Minnesota is just a fucking old school bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
And every Blues player that plays that night gets suspended. That's what I'm hoping for.
I've got that down as the game to watch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, it has to be.
But you know that the NHL is going to fucking police that game like crazy. They're going to tell the officials, call everything. Fucking the head of officiating is Stephen Walcom still.
Yep.
He'll probably be at that game.
Yep.
Like, this is going to be
Whitmore,
like guys are going to get fucking kicked out for any kind of argument. Like it's going to be like that because they've done that before, and I hate that. But
anybody looks at Ryan Hartman wrong. They're suspended 5 games next year.
You just hit Ryan Hartman into the boards. That's 5 minutes. You're out. See ya. You're trying to start a fight.
I hope the NHL handles it like any other game, but I'm afraid that things may be said before. Say, hey, keep this under control. And I don't think Bennington is going to do anything, just because it's expected. If that makes any sense. Now, I'm not saying he won't retaliate to something if something happens or if somebody gets in his face. I don't think he's going to start anything in this game. I think it might be in his mindset. He's like, I should probably be on my best behavior against Minnesota. But I can totally see him like not taking anything. But I'd like to see him start. Maybe Berube doesn't even start him. Maybe just to avoid the circus. He may. I mean, if Zarenko's still with the team and Grice is still out, maybe this is his first NHL start.
Man, I wonder if there's some part of Berube who's just like the tough guy he was. If he's just like, I kind of want to see Bennington kick someone's ass.
I'm sure that's in him still. And after the last Blues and Wild, when they played, when the Fleury and Minton had their almost dust up, he didn't have a problem with what Bennington did.
No.
So
as he shouldn't.
Right. Now, it doesn't condone the blocker to the face. Right. That's not. But as far as him getting upset about what happened, that's totally understood. So maybe he would start him. He's like, you know what? He didn't do anything wrong. Let's start him. I don't know. If I'm Berube, I start him. I want something.
Give me the mayhem.
Oh my God. And Minnesota fans are going to be all over Bennington.
Well, and you got to figure if Berube's wanting wins here, which he does, he's a coach. He's not the GM. He's probably sitting there saying, Bennington has proven before that when he is in hate mode, when everybody is just rooting against him in the arena, this is when he plays his best. So I think if you're wanting a win, you start Bennington.
Yeah. And well, one of the games against Dallas, you think would be the backup, right? You think Bennington would get the season finale, probably, right? At Dallas?
No.
Or you think Bennington gets the home game?
Home.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
He gets
the home game and then not suspended.
I hope you know what? I mean, get suspended. Go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah. The more I think about this coming Saturday night, like it's maybe we need to have a poker night at my house. We're gonna watch the Blues and the Wild, and then we're gonna go into the City versus Sounders.
Oh yeah.
So, that would be amazing.
Ken Morris says Paul Bissonnette claims Benton has dethroned Brad Marchand as the most hated player in the NHL. I heard that. That was an interview. They were talking with Marchand, and you know what? I think Bennington is just the hot topic right now. But I think Marchand has that lockdown still from just everything that's happened.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it was TSN posted on Facebook too. Like who's the most hated player? It was after this claim from Bissonnette, and it was Marshawn, Bennington, and Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Are you kidding me? Were you really having this discussion?" It is and always will be Brad Marchand.
He licked people. I mean,
yeah, that's what one guy even said that. He goes, "The minute Bennington licks a guy, we'll have this conversation."
Yeah, Marchand licks people. He runs around the ice starting shit. And Bennington has what, 3 or 4 incidents a season. Marchand might have 20. It's like, come on.
How about Bennington stopping Marchand on the
great
long breakaway on Sunday? Oh, that was beauty.
And then Marchand coughed it up, and the Blues almost scored. Was it late in the third or was it overtime? It might have been overtime. Yeah, Marchand was at his own blue line, and he kind of fumbled it and coughed it up, and the Blues came in and
did he go for a line change? There's 7 seconds left.
I was thinking the same thing, actually. All right. Let's see what else we got here.
I think we should go ahead and take a break, Kurt.
Right now?
That's my
okay.
vote. Yeah,
all right, we got some more. Okay. All right.
Because we're getting ready to talk about Zherenko,
we're getting ready to talk about Zherenko being called up, and some news about Scandella and Matt Kessel. So we'll talk about that and other Blues news on the other side of this break from our amazing sponsors. You're listening to producer Austin, Jeff Curtinbill on Let's Go Blues Radio.
The secret weapon.
We'll return after these messages.
Every beer league hockey night, I grab my hockey bag and sticks and throw them in the trunk of my car. And the very next thing I do, I mix up a boost of energy courtesy of RockinThatIDLife.com. It's formulated to break up its delivery in 3 ways, which helps me get through all 3 periods of hockey. Phase 1 provides a rapid onset of energy, concentration, alertness, and motivation. By period 2, I'm receiving a dose of sustained energy, increased focus, metabolism, cognitive function, performance, and feelings of well-being, which I need with the way I play. In Phase 3, I'm getting fatigue protection without jitters and crash, an elevated mood, and a reduction of fluid retention to help me make the big play when it counts. This same triphasic approach helps me when I drink it during work hours or simply just for a pick-me-up when I need it. Try one of the 4 energy flavors by visiting RockinThatIDLife.com, but make sure to email Dustin at RockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a beer lover's dream for hockey fans. Based in St. Louis, Missouri, owner Steve Albers has been brewing hockey-themed favorites for thirsty sports fans since 2017. From the Beauty IPA to the Old Arena Lager, a cold, frosty, hockey-themed beer is just what the doctor ordered for hockey fans in St. Louis. Make sure to check your local beer store for Center Ice Brewery beer today. LGB. Let's go beer.
During the magical 2019 playoff run, I was in the midst of buying my current home. Every time I spoke with my realtor, obviously, home buying was the discussion. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't stop thinking about what was destined to happen for our St. Louis hockey team. If only there were a realtor who could have walked me through the process, held my hand when needed, but was there to be a sounding board when I wanted to complain about a certain hand pass goal. Let realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage be that for you. He'll have your needs top of mind as he skates you through the home buying or selling process, dangling you past any obstacles and assisting on all your home goals. Check out strikewithmike.com for more information or give him a call directly at 314-753-4060. That's Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage at strikewithmike.com, and that number again is 314-753-4060. Don't forget to tell Mike that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
I think we lost half our audience because they thought the show was over.
Yeah, right. Way to go, Austin. Moron. You're fired.
Mm.
Where's producer Amy when you need
What's
her?
I guess the Austin. What's this button do? That's strike.
Man, maybe if you would have won a championship on Saturday, you know
Mm.
what the hell you were doing.
That is strike number 2.
Mhm.
You get 3 strikes a season, 4 games left. He left. He left. He's taking his ball and going home.
He actually did leave. Good.
All right.
We'll finish
Yeah.
without him.
So if you guys had to guess right now we sit 10th. We kind of briefly went over the games the teams around us had left and how many and who they played. We got 4 left against tough teams. Where do we finish, guys? Jeff, you said outside looking in. 12, 13?
I think this team, I think even I don't know. We were all kind of saying it before the trades. This team is destined to be right outside the playoff picture. I still think that. I think this team, I think they get 3 to 4 more points. I think that's all they need to get to 12th or 13th.
I think they finish 9th.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'll take that.
Okay.
That's at least put you in the talk.
Yeah.
Put you in the lottery.
9 or exactly where they are right now.
9 or 10. Yeah, because let's see. Right now, you said let's do some math here. 79
Let's
points right
not.
now. Jeff, you said 3 or 4 more points. Is that what you said? So
Yeah.
at most, say 4 more points, so 83 points. That would mean Ottawa and Buffalo could only. I'm not looking at tiebreakers here. Could only get 2 more points in their last. Let's see. Buffalo has 6 more games. Ottawa has 4 more. I mean, anything can happen.
I came up with this before looking at math, but I do think this team's destined to be right
Okay.
outside of the draft
All right.
lottery. I hope
Okay.
I'm wrong. I really do.
I think the schedule's tough. I think they're gonna fold like a cheap shirt. I'm not even sure what that means.
That's not even the
Well,
term.
It's cheap
Let's
tent.
try though.
It's cheap
A
tent.
Yeah.
Cheap tent? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
That's the saying. A cheap
And
tent.
think about it. Tents fall apart easily if they're real
Yeah.
cheap.
Fold like a lawn chair. How's that?
There you
Okay, that'll work.
Fold like a piece of origami under a skilled Japanese person.
The Blues are 1-0 in the gold plan. Adam, I don't know if you saw, I tagged you on Twitter. Somebody was talking about how they need to go to wins after elimination.
Yeah.
And I instantly responded and was like, that is the gold plan. Like, yes, 100%.
He sent me the some details on that, and I keep forgetting to go back and look at them. Sorry about that. Winning Unlimited, sir. One of the days I'll get to it. Zarenko, backup goalie, was called up Monday to back up Bennington against the Flyers due to an undisclosed injury to Thomas Greiss. I think if Greiss is out for a bit, you see Zarenko would play eventually, right?
Yeah.
Season finale.
Season finale at
Sure.
least. Yeah. You want to get the guy in there. And, I don't know if you guys have heard anything about Thomas Grace's injury, but I hear he's got a hyperextended left hand, left shoulder.
Oh, wow. Holy, that was a visual for you podcast listeners. That was a outstretched arm high into the air, flat palm down.
Yes.
Oh,
This hurts much.
I'm injured. Oh
Uh,
my god.
Ow!
Ow, yeah. Yikes. Greiss with the you spell his name with SS, right? At the end.
yes, you do. You can't spell Grace without SS.
You're right. Oh,
I do think there's no point not to start Jurenko, right? Like, see what you got in your goalie depth. You've already seen Hofer.
If nothing
Let's
else,
see what Jurenko's got.
put those beautiful pads on the NHL ice.
yeah.
Assuming he's still wearing them. God, those are.
He did. He had him pregame warmups.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes.
Matt Harris says Grice's injury was actually announced as, "Holy fuck! Why don't you play defense in front of me? Fuck this shit. I'm out." I do believe that's upper body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's upper body. That's out the mouth, so
Right.
upper body.
Yeah, out the mouth and the head, right?
Yeah.
He got hung out to dry, but looked pretty awful against Nashville.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't go to that.
You know what? Austin said that,
Yeah.
and my first reaction was kind of the same thing, but only for a second. So I was like, you know what? The Blues aren't playing for anything except for lottery position, so that helped them. So it really wouldn't have been, it would have been like a footnote in the trip. It would have been an easy thing to forget.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like last night we went to the game and we were talking to the guys in front of me, and they were like, I said, because they made some comment like, oh, if they lose, it's actually better, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm like, and this is during the third period, almost collapse, and I was like, yeah, but I paid for tickets, I'm here, I want to see a win, and they were like, well, we didn't pay for our tickets. I was like, oh. So you guys can sit there and root for loss. I'm cool
and
with
you're
that.
there with your son, right? So it's like,
right.
You want a cooler experience, right? A win's a better atmosphere. I totally get it. If I would have been there with my daughter, she doesn't care about the lottery position. She wants to see the team win, and she gets excited. And I'm like, I would want them to win for her, mostly.
Oh, the whole way back to the car, all I heard was, "We won."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, we did."
See, that's cool. I mean, that's what it's all about at this point of the season. I mean, that's just one of 100 reasons why I'm on board with just winning and not tanking and wanting to miss the playoffs if we were close, that kind of a thing.
Right.
So,
right. Well, like I said earlier, like this is the roster going forward for the most part. So you still want to see them compete. If they're getting blown out every game, like the Nashville game, you're like, what the fuck are we even hoping we have a team here for next year?
Looking
like good.
Yeah,
Lord.
you're looking for things to look forward to for next season, right? It's like, oh wow, because you've got Verana, Kapanen, Blais, newer acquisitions, so you can see how they're fitting in. They're fitting in great. You want to see that keep going. You don't want to see that like fizzle out, right? You want to see them finish strong. So, and you don't like losing sucks, and losing kind of is infectious. You see that with some teams in the NHL that they just like you don't want to just get in a habit of losing, and you get some of these new guys in here with neighbors. For example, you don't want him to have him experience losing. And you want him to experience winning to some, a team that's going somewhere and have confidence and optimism for next season. So I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think, but you say this is the roster more or less for next season, probably. But I hope they can make some changes somehow. Yeah. Everyone hopes they can do something on defense with one of the NTCs, right? You hope they buy out Scandella, maybe. Because it would actually be a very affordable buyout, and they could get out from underneath his. And they, or maybe someone wants to trade for Krug, and Krug will go somewhere, something like that. I don't know.
I think that's a big reason. And again, we don't know for sure. All we kept hearing is Krug would go back to Boston, right? That's all we keep hearing. I think that's part of the reason you hope for a Boston collapse in the playoffs. That's the only reason they go out and get maybe another high-priced player.
And they want, and it seems like, oh my gosh, we were lacking a puck-moving defenseman, a power play quarterback in the playoffs. Ooh, Krug, would you want to come back?
Yeah, well, that's. I think Dmitry Orlov would have to fall flat on his face. He's looked really good since going to Boston. So,
it was announced Tuesday that Scandella will miss the remainder of the season after blocking a shot in the second period against the Predators on Saturday. He left the game and didn't return. He had missed the first half of the season recovering from a hip injury. He played in 20 games this season, netting 1 goal, 1 assist, and a -2 rating. And the Blues have recalled defenseman Matt Kessel from the Springfield Thunderbirds under emergency conditions. Kessel did play in the shootout loss to Boston and the win versus Philadelphia and averaged just over 15 minutes of ice time and was a -1 total. He's 22 years old, was drafted by the Blues in the 5th round, number 150 overall of the 2020 draft. This season, the Phoenix, Arizona native leads the Thunderbirds defense with 31 points, 5 goals, 26 assists through 66 games. Overall, Kessel has totaled 34 points, 5 goals, 29 assists, and 72 penalty minutes in 81 career AHL appearances. What did you guys think of Kessel last couple of games?
He wasn't noticeable.
I agree.
Which is exactly what you want.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Unlike Tyler Tucker, who was inserting himself everywhere, Kessel was, he was, just playing a role. And it took me a while to realize he was in the game last night.
Me too. Actually.
Yeah, me too. I was there. And I'm like, literally actively looking for his number every time there's a line change. I'm like, why am I not seeing him? And finally I started to see him. I'm like, okay, there he is. And yeah, I don't know. Even with offensive defensemen, when they first come into the league, I don't want to see you. Like, that sounds awful, but I don't want to notice you, because I feel like unless you are just doing incredible Sidney Crosby-like stuff, I don't want to see you on the rink. I want to be like, wait a minute, Kessel played tonight? And that's exactly who I was the last 2 games, because that means he did his job.
Yeah, and a lot of times with defense, when you notice them, it's usually because of something bad they did. But I mean, I guess there's 3 ways to look at it. You don't want to notice him at all. If you do notice him, you want it to be because he's making nice plays, or you notice him because he's fucking up. That's the 3 scenarios.
And I've found that with defensemen, it's typically, if you notice them, it's the latter. It's because they fucked up and they made a bad play.
With
Nico Mikola.
Yeah.
Yes.
With third pairing defensemen, yes. Right.
Semirokov, another one.
Yes.
Yeah. We noticed him his first game, and he wasn't even a Blue.
Yep.
Yeah. We remember him.
We noticed him so much, we went out and got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that's I was watching the Rangers game the other night, and it was like within 2 minutes, Nico Mikola, or within, I guess, 2 minutes of me turning on, he gets a penalty, and a couple minutes later, he gets out of the box, gets another penalty. Like, we watched that for a couple of years here. So,
the Flyers and Blues played on Tuesday night, which was Pride Night in St. Louis. Mr. Jeff Ponder, we mentioned, was in attendance with his son in this game. Was your wife there too, or was this you and your boy?
Yeah, I know. She was there.
Okay.
Yeah, we had, I don't know if I mentioned on the show, we had tickets to the Build-A-Bear night a couple weeks ago, but I ended up getting the flu, so we couldn't go. So I felt awful because I kept telling him all week, we're going to the Blues game on Sunday. Can't wait. No, we're not going. And so I decided just go ahead and get 3 tickets so the 3 of us could go. Yeah, unbelievable time. We had such a good time. I told him last night, because we took him to a game last year. We took him to a preseason game too. What do you got there?
He's got the Sunlight from
Sun King
Brewery.
Nice.
Out of Indianapolis.
Okay.
I've been to their
Very
brewery.
nice.
Very, very good.
I've been to their brewery. Where'd you get that, Bill?
Friar Tuck, actually.
Okay. I did see it. They had it at Pete's for a while. In Troy, and I went back there and I couldn't find it. So Friar Tuck does have it. That's good to know.
Yes.
So we went to the game and had a blast. And I told him last night, I'm like, we are taking you to more sporting events, because he's actually gotten into baseball now too. So we'll take him to some Cardinals games this summer. And he was a little whiny a little bit last year. The most whiny thing he did was when there was a Blues goal, he would do this. But it would only last maybe, and for podcasters, he's putting his hands over his ears. And he would do it for about 2 seconds, and then he'd stop and he'd start clapping and go, yay! And so I'm like, yeah, that's the right reaction. So he was a blast, had a great time. Can't wait to take him to more games.
Mentioned that this was Pride Night in St. Louis. We'll get into more of that in a second. Bennington was back in net for the Blues and stopped 32 of 34. Kyrou, goal scorers for the Blues were Kyrou, his 37th, Pitlick, his 6th, Falk, his 11th, and Toropchenko, his 9th. Toropchenko had 9 goals this season. That's I've liked him on the fourth line. 9 goals. I think that's probably more than people expected out of him. That's nice. I think coming into this season after the shoulder injury he had, I think people were optimistic. Shoulder injury withstanding. I've liked him this season. I think he's actually gotten better as the season went along. Happy with him on the fourth line. I don't know, you guys fans or
I'm gonna get to your. I feel like a bad interview. I'm gonna get to your question, Kurt. But let me just
let me answer that by asking you this.
No, Lawrence Frazier here asks, will your shows continue throughout the entire NHL playoffs, NHL draft, and then NHL free agency? Yes, we do all summer. It's a little different over the summer. Typically, it's just me and maybe a guest or so. Kurt and Bill like to join here and there. They typically join for the draft show, the free agency show, any big news. We'll have a show.
If we do if we play a game and commentary stuff like that,
we do mystery hockey theater, which is fun. We'll watch an old Blues game live, so you could tune in and watch with us, and we'll comment throughout the game. So we do a lot of fun stuff. We got a fun summer planned with doing a Blues all-time team. So just want to comment to you there. Yes, I think next week we'll have another regular show like this. And then the week after will probably be our season recap show. And then after that, we'll start summer shows. So, yes, we will be around all the time. You can't get rid of us.
But as Matt Harris points out, only if you say please.
Yes. Lawrence, I expect a please here. Once you do that, we will continue on with the rest of the shows. But your question, Kurt, about Toropchenko.
Yeah.
Dude, I love him as a fourth liner. Fucking give me a fourth line of Toropchenko's. He forechecks. He's got hands. We saw him on the first line a couple weeks ago with Kyrone Thomas. He's not Barbashev, but he's pretty damn close to Barbashev. I think you give him a couple more years of experience, he's right there.
I think he grows into that role nicely, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was hopeful when he first came up that he could possibly be another Nichushkin, right? Same size, same speed. When he gets up to top speed, you can't stop the guy. He's definitely not same skill level as Nichushkin. But yeah, there are 2 guys on this team that I am really, really pulling to get to 10 goals, and that's Toropchenko and Blais. Yeah. Can you imagine Sammy Blais scoring 2 goals tomorrow night against the Rangers?
I completely didn't think about that.
To my veins.
Oh my God, he's got to score against them, doesn't he? At least
once. Would
God.
You not shit your pants?
that would be so fucking amazing. That is
and whole Tarasenko scoreless, right?
Yes.
So
those are like for individual player goals. That's what I want to see for the rest of the season. Get both those guys to 10 because Blais will have done it in 20 games.
You will have done it only as a St. Louis Blue.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So crazy.
I love it. It's just it's sports, man. Sports are weird, crazy.
How many people
show me an advanced stat that could have predicted that?
We don't know what the future holds for Sammy Blais. But how many NHL forwards can say, yeah, I scored all my goals with one team, but I also played for another team for like 2 seasons.
Oh, you scored like 1 or 2 goals? No, I had like 30.
Yeah, right.
It was Kyrou's 6th goal in his last 6 games. He scored the first goal of the game, his 37th of the season.
And I guess I do want him to get to 40.
That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Previous comment.
That would be nice. I don't think it matters. Well, if he scores 40, that's a nice, solid.
Puts him right up there with Tony McKegney.
Oh, my.
Well, it's a nice, solid number that may shut some people up about Kyrou's lack of defense, about how that's like a problem for people. What does it say? Matt Harris, Sammy Blais cuts through the Rangers legends Vladdy Tarasenko and Petty Kane to score a hattie with his dick out.
Comment on the show.
That's something out of Slapshot, right?
Yeah. It's the Joe Thornton, right?
The visual
Yeah,
of that.
right?
The visual of that is I can't not get it out of my head.
Oh my gosh!
just Sammy, yeah, boys, yeah.
Just wearing a sock.
That's good.
It was 3-0 Blues heading in the third period. The Flyers did pour it on in the third, sending 18 shots on net. Bennington did stop 16 of those. Flyers scored 2 in the third to cut the Blues lead to 3-2. The first came at 5:51 from James Van Riemsdyk, and the second came from Morgan Frost, his 19th of the season at 11:43. Morgan Frost was acquired by the Flyers. They drafted him using one of the first-round draft picks they acquired from the Blues in the Braden Shen trade.
Terrible trade. Blues should have never done it. I mean, Morgan Frost has clearly proven that he is better than Braden Shen.
The other player the Flyers drafted with the pick they got from the Blues was Joel Farabee at 14th overall in the 2018 entry draft. Frost was picked 27th overall in 2017 by Philadelphia and is having a nice breakout season, especially lately. He's got 19 goals, 24 assists, 43 points. He's a -11, averages 16, 13 time on ice. His Frost's 5th goal and 7th point in his last 5 games. So he's heating up after only netting 3 goals and 3 assists in the first 27 games played this season. He has 16 goals, 21 assists, and 37 points in his last 49 games played. Frost has 26 goals, 40 assists, and 153 games played in his career so far.
All right, crazy question. I'm sure you guys will not know the answer. What is Morgan Frost's nickname?
Frost. It's got to be.
He's a hockey player. What's his nickname?
David.
Frosty.
David.
Frosty.
David.
It's Frosty. David. Yes. Randomly, it's just David.
No, but David Frost.
David Frost. I know. I get it.
Why not just call him Danton?
Danton.
For those,
there you go.
Does anyone? I guess that's been a while now. There are probably a lot of younger fans that don't really know the Mike Danton, David Frost story like they should, right?
Listen to the Andy Strickland episode we had a couple of years ago. We talked about that.
Yeah.
That, a couple of years from now, when we've completely run out of summer show ideas for you, you need to track down that the guy
volleyball player. Oh, what's it?
The guy that was the dispatcher for the Columbia Police Department that broke that whole thing.
Oh,
right. He's the one that was couldn't keep the secret.
Oh yeah,
Can you imagine us having a show back then when that happened?
Oh my God,
that's a whole, because that happened right when the Blues were eliminated.
Right,
that was a whole summer's worth of shows.
I was going to say that would have been our summer series.
Right, we could have probably gone off the rails and been like an influencer podcast for Serial and all the true crime podcasts. I remember
doing a lot of research online and getting a PDF of the police report from that night, finding it online, and it was crazy reading through that thing. That's one of the biggest soap opera moments the Blues have had in the past 20 years. That was nuts. And there's a documentary on it on YouTube, I think.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a 3-part series, something like that, 2-part series. So interesting and crazy, scary, creepy. David Frost, man, creepy guy.
Yeah.
So we got a question earlier here. See if I can find it. Oh, Lawrence again. Lawrence Frazier says
of Arabia.
Who would you give the Lawrence of
Frazier? Lawrence of Frazier.
Who would you give the captaincy to right now, and what alternates? Honestly, I know that this is a long shot, but I'm thinking you have a captain next year in Ryan O'Reilly.
Oh wow!
I really think he's coming back. I really do.
I think he wants to. I think he would. I don't know if we can fit him in.
I think you fit him in at $5 million.
It depends if they can move. Okay.
I think he comes back. I really do. And completely, there's no insider information here. It just seemed like the way that went down, how he talked before he left, he would love to stay here, I think. And I think it was literally a handshake moment like we saw with Kachuk and Doug Waite. Hey, we're going to move you because we'll get assets. He said something about how he wants to stay here if they can still win. I think it's literally Armstrong telling him, we have a better chance of winning if we trade you and get assets for you and then re-sign you. And I think that's going to be the case.
I would love that. I really would. If we can work that out. But if it doesn't happen, I think Shen's the popular choice. I like Shen as captain. I think Thomas is a alternate. And do you go Pareko? I mean, I just saying you go all forwards. You got to throw a defenseman in there.
You have to have a defenseman,
Falk.
but I don't think it's
I'd go
it's
Falk.
Falk, yeah.
I think it's Falk.
Yeah.
Pareko to me, I mean, they're gonna go with how teams do it now, 27 alternates. It drives me crazy. It should be one captain and two alternates, but
different alternates for home and road. I hate that.
Yeah, fuck off. That's so
that.
stupid.
Yeah.
But I think if you say one captain, two alternates, I think it's Shen, Falk. Oh boy. I mean, Thomas makes sense, but I don't see him as a leader. Maybe Buchnevich?
Ooh, is Buchnevich the leader? I think they're grooming Thomas to be that leader. He's always being interviewed.
That's why he's already got the A. He's got the A. They're not going to take it away next year.
He's worn the A. I think he's said more in front of the cameras than almost any other player on the team. Even when O'Reilly was here, he was talking so much.
Bennington maybe.
Bennington some too, yeah.
But yeah, you're not.
I think
you're not
Thomas
gonna
was.
You're not going to Luongo. Give him a.
Thomas was surprisingly in front of the camera a lot more than I expected him to be. So that's I don't know. There's something there with him. They're trying to put him front and center, and maybe rightfully so.
Yeah, no, Kyra's definitely doesn't have leadership material.
Yeah, no.
He's
just let him
the
play.
Offensive star, right?
Just let him play.
Don't try to put any responsibility on that guy.
Right.
Can't handle it.
He can barely handle the responsibilities on both ends of the ice as it is.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's Shen, Thomas, and Falk of this roster. Now, if O'Reilly's back, then it's O'Reilly, Shen, Falk, O'Reilly, Shen, Thomas, O'Reilly, Thomas, Falk.
Winning Unlimited asked the question. Winning Unlimited asked the question. O'Reilly return with a Shen captaincy. That would be interesting.
I almost wish they'd assigned a captain after O'Reilly left. Really?
Yeah,
they should.
Right. I think that's the only scenario in which Shen would be captain. Right. If they roll him out the last 3 games, like they come out tomorrow and say, hey, Shen's going to wear the C the rest of the year. He's our captain going forward. Then if O'Reilly comes back, you don't give it to him.
It's such an it's an
but
easy
again, you got to
wonder.
You got to wonder if it was the handshake deal of we'll bring you back next year, but you're still our captain.
Yeah, but the Blues have done this kind of thing before. They don't assign a captain for whatever reason. When Dallas Drake, out of respect to Dallas Drake, they didn't assign a captain after what happened there with that? He was hurt, retired, or something.
He went to Detroit.
Traded. That's right. Traded.
He got fucking bought out because he was awful.
That's right.
And then he signed in Detroit, and they said, out of respect of Dallas Drake, who we just bought out. Fuck off. That was so stupid.
I know. That
Blues back then used to piss me off so much. They didn't make sense. They were contradictory. You bought the dude out. Out of respect to the player, you don't buy him out.
I wonder. Matt Harris says that Rob Tom just has the face of the modern NHL. Dude looks like a headliner. Kind of agree there. Interesting that at 2 times this season you've had Thomas kind of disagree, right, with what Berube said about the team that one time, right, and then just the other game you had Berube chewing out Kyrou after the first period ended. Did you guys saw that, right?
Yeah.
So that was
Kyrou
interesting.
gave it back to him.
Well,
yeah,
Yeah, and it was about line changes. I believe they said it was about making quick and efficient line changes. Apparently, Kyrou didn't feel like he. Ruga didn't.
Kyrou dogs it
Yeah.
going to the bench.
Yeah.
Now, I think 95% of NHL players dog it, so I'm not just going to bash Kyrou. But yeah, he definitely. I've never seen him hustle to the bench.
Right, pretty one-dimensional player like Kyrou, younger, doesn't have that leadership trait on a team that's eliminated from the playoffs. The writing's been on the wall. Yeah, I don't think in that game, the Blues have been eliminated. That was the Nashville game, right? That they got into the drawing thing.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised by that interaction whatsoever. And I'm not surprised by Kyrou not giving it his all to make a line change in a throwaway game that late in the season.
Justin Scott says, to be honest, if the Blues do the right things this offseason, they can be in the playoffs next season. I believe in this team, and if Verana and Kapanen can continue to play well, they'll be steals. I like your optimism. I'm there with you. I think they can, with a couple of tweaks, they can be back in the playoffs. I think this team was a victim of some historically poor defensive play. And some really inconsistent play from the forwards the first half of the season. That just then the Blues couldn't keep the puck out of the net, and they couldn't outscore the opponent. So offense has looked much better lately. Defense a little, I guess, maybe, but they almost have to do something. And we've talked about this to death. They almost have to do something defensively significant for me to get excited about going somewhere in the playoffs.
I agree.
I think they can totally be a playoff team next season. I'm not going to say they won't. They could easily be one with a tweak this offseason. But how good of a playoff team? That depends on some defensive moves, I think.
I'll take your commentary a little bit further and say I don't think they're a playoff team without a defensive move. I think you have to make at least one significant defensive move. If you're literally like, this is our defense for the next 4 years or whatever it is till Letty's contract's up, they're not in the playoffs.
I think
they're just not. Their defense is that bad.
If that defensive move is a new coach.
Right.
Ryan.
That's if the new coach, new system, and you get, I don't know. I mean, maybe I think so much of it depends on Parayko, and we were so, we want the Parayko whisperer. We want Bouwmeester, right? We want the guy that can tell him how to play. And we thought we had that when Scandella first came here. We thought we had that when Letty first came here. I think Parayko's got to show that he can do something on his own next year. And he's since the the sell-off, Parayko's been up and down.
Mostly good.
Mostly good. I mean,
but he still had his issues.
Right. Look at that game in Boston or against Boston. That the first Kyrou goal, right? That was all Parayko, knowing right when to join the rush, going up, pushing the defense back, and opening up that lane. It was vintage Parayko, and if he can play like that but not suck so much on the defensive end,
was it the Nashville game? The god awful turnover.
Oh god, yeah,
the pass in the own zone that was just blind, and it looked like St. Louis City SC was out there getting a back pass, right?
Yeah,
and they were scoring a goal off that.
It was it went right to Klaus.
Right.
Yeah, right. Klaus buried it
on Grice. Yeah,
Klaus
scores on Grice.
In Parayko's defense, he is a huge Tim McGraw fan and just wanted to hear that song again.
That's what it was. Yep. No, I let's put it like this: the Blue season's over 8 days from now, If in 9 days Mike Van Ryn still has a job with the Blues, they're not making the playoffs next year. I'll just put it like that.
Well,
That should be your first fucking move. Next Friday, if Mike Van Ryn still has a job, you have failed this offseason. I'm sorry.
I'm not
There's
going
no
to put
point in keeping him around.
I'm not going to put a timeline on it, but I'm with you that Van Ryn
But
has to be gone.
typically, when you know you're firing a coach, it's right as the season ends.
Right. Within a few days, you would think. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that needs to happen. We've talked about that at length. I think we were saying that before it was cool to say that, honestly. I think you brought it up first, Jeff, I believe, about firing Van Ryn.
I won't take credit. It was all of us. It's part of this show. We all just have such a good group thing.
It's a team effort.
That's right.
But yeah, and that if you don't get rid of Van Ryn, then what are you doing? Because unless you've got plans where you can, retool the defense, and maybe you want to go with a retooled defense with Van Ryn as the either or. They have to do one or the other.
But I don't see that working either.
Well, I'm not
seen Van Ryn fail. Even in the Cup year, he failed. What's the point in keeping him around?
In the Cup year, they were a good defense.
Because Larry Robinson stepped in and took over the D.
Right.
He's never been good as a Blues defensive coach. It would make no sense to keep him around.
Right. But what I'm saying is that it would be something that we're doing. Now, to their credit, they have made moves on defense. They've tried different things with Scandella, with Leddy. They brought in Falk. They in preparation for Pietrangelo maybe leaving. They brought in Krug after Pietrangelo did leave. They're fluid. They've been fluid with the defense, but it seems like it's harder to be fluid now with all the no trade clauses kind of bottlenecking it up. So it always comes down to that, right? It's the no trade clauses that are always like stopping any type of progress they want to make with the defense.
Right. It's as if they poured all that fluid straight out.
Yeah, right.
With those no movement clauses.
There's an oil leak.
Yes.
We've been leaking transmission fluid for the last 40 miles. So Blues got the loss. Blues got the win 4-2 against Philadelphia. They hung on, got the end from Tropchenko. It was Pride Night. So Jeff, and you were there. So they what the headlines are for every team now. It's not about having Pride Night. It's about what's not existing at Pride Night now. That's the headline. That's the story. It's all negative. So, and the Blues did the same thing other teams are doing. None of them wore the Pride warm-up jerseys, but they did do the Pride tape on the sticks in warm-ups, and they did do Pride pucks. So,
well,
you say
things. Everybody's doing, as much as I hate to say it, credit goes to the Nashville Predators.
Nashville Predators, San Jose did it
They did it without Reimer.
Right.
Yes.
They still did it. They did it right. That's you can't force. You're not going to force a player to wear that if they don't want to. Fine, but they did it. They did it right after that. Right. And I agree with you. Nashville did it right. Some teams did it right, but some teams. But the headlines are the teams that are doing this. Taking away the biggest visual element of Pride Nights, which is the warm-up jerseys. So what did you notice that was there at Pride Night? So besides the tape and besides the puck, which I want to get into the sticks, the tape and the pucks in a second, but what else was going on? They said they had some Pride themed things on the Jumbotron and the ribbon boards.
I mean,
just had like snippets.
They had well, I'm drawing a blank on his name, Andy Cohen. They had him on for a brief second, which was cool. I love Andy Cohen.
I did hear a RuPaul song on the TV broadcast.
Yeah, they had a little bit of that. I went last year, and they like flashed the Blues Pride logo with the Pride colors. They'd flash that on like every break. The ribbons around were all Pride colors. They didn't do any of that this year. There was none of that. the pucks, the mystery pucks that they give away every year, or every game, those were Pride, so that was nice. I did like that, signed pucks. They really did do much, to be honest.
They did say
the lights around the arena, like outside, those were Pride colored.
So was the wheel. The Ferris wheel was Pride colors too.
Yeah, Ferris wheel was. They had like every now and then they interview a member of the LGBTQ community, talking about how important Pride was to them. But I don't know, it wasn't that noticeable. It felt like, I don't know, it didn't feel that different of a normal game. Like on the scoreboard, the Blues logo all night was the Pride logo. I'll give them credit on that. But overall, it really didn't feel that different.
See,
of a game.
That's interesting because I was there during wrestling night, right? And you could tell it was wrestling night. Yeah, I mean, they had Ric Flair come out, on the ice and address the crowd. They played all kinds of wrestling montages and things in between periods and then stoppages, and the amount of wooing was beyond tolerable. But so you knew that it was wrestling night. It was evident, right? It's interesting to me that maybe it wasn't so much the case with Pride Night. And now they did say that they had some tables upstairs, concourse area with some pamphlets and informational things about
that might have just been me not paying attention.
No,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and that's something you have to actually go seek out, right? It's
right.
not something that you're going to see in your seats. So that's interesting to me, because the Blues did say, where is it here? I thought I had the quote here about what the Blues. Oh, yeah. A source within the Blues organization said, the decision not to wear the warm-up jerseys was made to put the focus on the positive things the team is doing to support and affirm the LGBTQIA plus community. And I'm not even sure how that makes sense. They said they didn't wear the jerseys because they wanted to focus on the positive things the team is doing to support the community. And I'm like, why is it one or the other? Why? That makes no sense to me. It seems like a nonsensical fluff comment that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me.
That didn't make sense. Again, and this is something actually, friend of the show, Ben Hockman, that I retweeted. So he posted something on how he was disappointed in the Blues not wearing Pride jerseys, and somebody said, why should players be forced to wear something they're not comfortable with? And he just said something along the lines of, why not show that hockey's inclusive and that people, that we support anybody playing the sport? Why is that such a big deal? 100% like this group of people has felt slighted and marginalized for so long, forever, literally as long as human existence has been around. Why not just show a little bit of support? Just, hey, wear a fucking jersey. Think of the crazy ass fucking jerseys we've all worn over the years. I wore a pink Flamingos jersey one year for a team I played for.
Were you forced to wear it because of Pink Flamingo night, Jeff?
No, just fucking, it's a pink flamingo. Like, why not? I'll wear a fucking pink a pink fucking flamingo jersey. I don't care. Like, why is it? I don't get that. If you're and it go back to like, especially like James Reimer's comment too about, hockey is for everyone, and I do feel it's inclusive and it should be. Then wear the fucking jersey. Yeah. It's the lowest thing you can do to support that community.
That's funny.
So the jersey point to me, right? It's twofold, right? It's the visibility of it, right? Like Kurt said, it is the most centerpiece. Visible element, right? But then you can auction them off for charity.
Yes,
$26,000 was raised last year.
Yeah,
by auction off the jerseys.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be very difficult to raise that amount of money without people putting in to get a jersey.
the team really, the Blues, if they wanted to really do what they say, to focus on the positive things the team is doing, they should take the money that was raised last year by the jersey auction, double it, and donate it.
Yeah,
That's what they should do.
Right.
that would have been great.
If they're not going to do the jersey.
Right, exactly.
Put
Yeah.
your money where the mouth is.
Sure.
Where your mouth
Yeah.
is. Yep.
Sure.
100%.
Because then to me, that's an amazing gesture by the team. $50,000 is nothing to billionaire investors of the Blues, the owners. That's a write-off, right? It's a charity donation. So that to me would have been something, but nothing like that was done. That was reported on anyway.
So Pano, this isn't on exactly on the topic of the LGBTQ support, but I have to ask, you were there. Did they play the U2 song Pride?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, because it's yesterday was April 4th, and that's what that song's about. It's Pride Night. I don't know. It seems like a missed opportunity if they didn't play it.
I could be wrong. Anybody else at the game, correct me, but I don't believe I heard that all night.
Again, not connected to the LGBTQ thing, but Pride Night, April 4th, seems like the perfect opportunity.
So, okay, so the Pride tape and the Pride pucks that were used in warm-ups, those were available for players to use, and a number of players did use them. I'm just kind of wondering what the difference is, and I assume not every player used it, but I'm just wondering what the difference is. I mean, if you're gonna, if you're a player that doesn't want to wear the jersey, but also uses the Pride tape and uses the Pride pucks in warm up, that's not that different than wearing a jersey. You're out there during the warm ups where Pride is front and center, and you're using Pride things, paraphernalia, right, to promote Pride Night. I'm just curious as to why the tape and the pucks were used, but not the jerseys by players. I don't know.
I don't know. There's
just thinking
to
out
someone
loud.
like me, I don't give a fucking shit about what jersey I put on. I mean, unless it's literally like anti-Semitic, like you got to put this jersey on to show that you hate Jewish people. I'm not doing that. But I mean, come on, like you can't. You can be out there with your teammates who maybe you're not using the Pride tape. Maybe you're not using the Pride pucks. You see a Pride puck, I'm not shooting that one.
That's so
okay,
stupid.
fine, whatever. But I know. But like, you're okay with going out there with the Pride tape. Why not just wear a jersey for 15 fucking minutes?
Because because you're pushing an agenda, Jeff. You're forcing them.
But the Pride tape isn't.
But it's against their religion.
But the Pride tape isn't.
It
makes no sense to me.
The Pride tape is the same as a jersey. It's the exact same thing. So one you wear on your you wear as a jersey, and the other one you put on your stick. It means the same thing.
I know.
So obviously, and this happens with any team, any sporting team that has a Pride Day, and they announce, hey, we're having a Pride Day, or hey, it's actually Pride Day, and they change the logo, and then you look at all the comments right below on social media, which is always a shit show. Now, usually most of the comments are positive, but you've got a vocal minority that just blows it up, right? So, and you see things like from clueless, people with bigoted agendas and keyboard warriors, keyboard warriors. One was when I saw was good for them for when they said that it was announced the Blues would not be wearing the Pride jerseys. A comment was good for them. I don't understand forcing your beliefs or lifestyle on anyone else. Period. So many people say this, and they say you're forcing your beliefs on someone else. Nobody's forcing anything on anybody.
They're asking you to be an ally.
Yeah, you're
It's not
asking for
you're
someone's
not
support.
forcing it.
You're asking for support. You're not forcing. No one's forced. Not a single NHL player has been forced against their will to wear a Pride jersey that we know of. Not a single one.
Well, maybe Eric Stahl.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
last
He
year.
never.
Last year.
No,
Oh, wait,
he's
he
no, no, no.
didn't
He's
care
never
when he
worn
was in
one.
Montreal.
Last year didn't care.
He's
Right.
no, he's never worn one. If you ask
Right.
him,
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's pictures of it, but he's never worn one.
Another comment was, I'm old enough to remember when it was about equality. Now it's wear the jersey or else. Again, no, it's not. Another one. Good. No reason to support a sexual fetish. Keep whoever you're sleeping with to yourself. Straight or gay, no one cares. Our society has gotten so freaking weird, man.
The one that and you guys I know saw this too. The one that says like, so when's straight day?
Yeah.
And my response is always the
Every
other
day?
40 fucking games a year at home.
Yeah, I don't understand. Or when's straight day? When's Christian day? Which the Cardinals have. The St. Louis Cardinals have a Christian day. A lot of teams do have Christian days, by the way. When's straight day? That's the dumbest. I must have missed the headline that said that showed where straight people were a marginalized group in this country. Right. And
that's the fucking point that people just don't understand. Like, this isn't let's make sure we have a night for every walk of life. No, it's let's have a night for people who feel that they are not represented well in this sport. And that's what's important, is we're making people feel and understand hockey really is for everyone. We know it's for the straight white man, okay? We all know that. Do we really need a night for that?
Matt Harris says another quote that was seen. Stop making sports political. Just let them play. Stop making my existence as a person illegal.
We've had that argument with somebody on this show, with somebody who came in the comments and said, why are we talking about politics on this show? This isn't fucking politics. This is human decency.
It's a social issue. And I don't know where the whole political thing comes from at all. And, and the comparison has been drawn a lot to, well, if you're not going to, have your team wear Pride jerseys, then you shouldn't have the team wear military jerseys or any other special jerseys and like I said, the backlash from the other side, the side that's saying, don't force your beliefs on somebody else. If a player or two were to say, I'm not going to wear the military jersey, holy shit. That would have been, a completely different issue for them, I'm sure.
Dude,
it's
crazy. I actually, at this point, if they do it next year, I actually do hope somebody does that next year. And not because I want to slight anyone in the military. I respect every military member fighting for their country. That's incredible. Something I would never do because I'm too much of a pussy. But but
yes, I am also a pussy.
Just to see the social commentary. Oh my God, he wouldn't wear that. Czech Republic player wouldn't wear a U.S. military jersey. What a fucking piece of shit. Run him out of the country. I want to see that commentary because of what we're seeing this year.
The Russian players that have said that they're afraid for their families as a reason why they didn't want to wear Pride jerseys, because it's criminal back in Russia to promote LGBTQ stuff and wear the quote propaganda. But it's okay and we talked about this before the show. It's okay for them to wear U.S. military gear.
Yeah.
Especially when the U.S. and Russia are, everything but at war right now, technically. Yeah. So how is that something that is okay, but Pride jerseys aren't?
For the longest time on Google, one of the images that came up, I don't think it's as apparent anymore. If you just search Vladimir Tarasenko, because I remember doing this for the show, I'd like try and come up with a show image, and I would just search. We're talking about Tarasenko tonight. That'll be the show image. Something about Tarasenko. It was him in a U.S. military jersey, and I'm like, that was okay with Vladimir Putin? Like, come on, like.
Right.
No way that's okay. And the the Pride Night jerseys aren't okay.
And religion's been used as an excuse too. It's against my religion, and that was just on screen. It was Matt Harris said if your political beliefs inhibit your ability to treat people with kindness and love, you are following the wrong political agenda, which is perfectly said. So many people seems like they're using religion as an excuse to let their bigotry, flow. So
Your cousin Jeff, I thought had one of the best, funniest comments that I've seen in a long time with respect to James Reimer saying what he said. That he hockey is for everybody. But because of his religion, he can't wear it. It's like, I'm not a bigot, but these assholes I hang out with on Sunday are.
yeah, I'm not the bigot, but my asshole friends on Sunday are.
Yeah, that sums it up so well for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. To me, if you support bigoted, and there's we just put up that's interesting. So
that's not a military jersey. He's going hunting after the game.
Yeah.
Ovechkin is wore. What year is this?
That's a good question. It looks. I mean, he's got the gray hair here. It's
gray
got to be
hair.
relatively recent.
It's Adidas. It's not that old.
It's Adidas. Yes. That's.
God, the Capitals logo looks like it's photoshopped on there though.
Austin says 2018.
Okay, so only not too long ago, but yeah, Ovechkin's wearing the military camouflage jersey.
And again,
Washington.
That's okay for Putin's going to look at this and be like, yeah, good job, Ovi. I love you, bud, but you better not put on that damn Pride jersey. No fucking way, man. No way that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird and hypocritical, and it's odd to me that you have to ask somebody to be a decent person, and the number of people that are there's a pushback against that. Again, not the majority, it's the vocal minority people, but they're loud, and it's a pushback about being a decent person, and I've asked people online before about, are you can you condemn bigotry? Is that something that you would ever promote, or would you always condemn bigotry? And they won't answer it. So I mean,
you've asked somebody that on this show.
Yeah, I did.
Do you condemn bigotry? And the answer was basically no. It's like
right. You know why it's no? Because it ruins their entire narrative. They can't say yes. If they say yes, then it undermines everything that they're trying to say. And so they won't say yes. They'll actually come out and say, no, I won't condemn bigotry. I think it's okay for people to be bigots. And if you're trying to tell someone that they shouldn't be a bigot, that makes you a bigot. If you're anti-bigots, that makes you a bigot. That is the most nonsensical, idiotic argument. You're not racist if you're against racists. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's a I'm out of bullets in this argument. I'm throwing the gun. That's what I'm doing. It's a stupid.
Have you? I don't know if you
thing.
guys and Matt. I'm going to say Matt Harris has seen it because we all know gays love musicals.
It's true.
I'm allowed to say it. I'm allowed to say it because I love musicals and I'm not gay.
That's logic doesn't work.
No, that's totally how it works.
I think the majority. I don't know, of actual people in musicals are gay. So
there's a great, and Andrew Rannells is one of them. He has a song in a movie called The Prom, which featured James Corden. I never say
James
his name
Corden?
right.
You like him? Sorry, I don't go track.
In this movie, yes.
Okay, I don't like him.
Yeah, okay. Matt Harris, Jeff, my new tattoo is from a musical. There you go. I was
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, I saw that at the Muni. It's great.
The best band name ever? Jesus Christ or Supercar.
Yes. All right. Well, anyway, so there is a great musical called The Prom, and I think I've brought it up on the show before. Andrew Rannells is a guy in that. He has a great singing voice. It's basically, long story short, it's about a small town, a girl who's gay who wants to go to her own prom, but she's outcast. So then these people from like New York, they're all like struggling musical artists. They all travel to the small town and try and like change the point of view from the people in the town. Andrew Rannells is one of them, and he has a song in there called "Love Thy Neighbor," and you can look it up on YouTube. It's a great YouTube video too, but I think you need to see the whole movie for context. And the whole song, the whole number is about how basically, you know, we all just look at the Bible, people who are religious, look at the Bible and say, pick and choose. Well, it's not okay to be gay, but it's okay that I have a tattoo on my wrist. Yeah, it's not okay to be gay, but my parents are divorced and that's okay. Like, and that's the whole song. And it just really breaks down how, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you fucking do or what anyone else does. At the end of the day, Jesus Christ preached, the most important rule I can teach you is to love thy neighbor. And 100% love the person next to you. Don't be a bigot. Don't be an asshole. And that's all we're asking here, is for you to understand how these people are marginalized, and just one night of the NHL season to fucking show some love to them.
It's interesting when religion is used as an excuse for whatever, however you're acting, that's bigotry or whatever. And it's the love thy neighbor is like the farthest thing from what they're doing. You know what I mean? That's so weird to me. I don't know. If you're religious, that's great. That's fine. I know a lot of people who are, and it makes them feel good. They like going to church. They love the community. That's great. It's not something I partake in necessarily, but to each their own with that. But yeah, it's interesting how there's a lot of picking and choosing going on with things that people will abide by as far as their religion goes. A lot of hypocrisy in what people say about religion too. It's just, I can't do this because my religion says no. Yeah, but I sleep around on my wife, so that's yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. Moving on. Next up for Blues, Thursday versus the Rangers, 7 p.m. I thought this said Tarasenko's mom.
Tarasenko's mom returns. Yes.
Tarasenko's and Mikola's return. It just looks like Tarasenko's mom if I glance over real quick. So they will return.
We're the only four that understand that. Our listeners are like, what are you looking at?
Right. It's an outline. I think I have an idea for a shirt for the shop. I'm gonna put in there.
Do you want to expand on that?
All it says is wear the jersey and have it in rainbow stripes.
Ooh, I like. Yes, do that. I'll buy one. I'll buy 10. No,
wear
20.
The jersey.
That's
wear the jersey.
That's a good idea.
Simple.
Well, real quick, while we're on the subject of shirts, I did want to point out. I want to throw some.
Stand up, Bill. There you go. There you go.
Oh, I've seen that shit online.
Yes,
Cahokia
I got it.
Rink.
The Cahokia Ice Rink, the chain link rink, as I have called it in the past. This T-shirt captures it very well. I
where'd you get that?
I've seen it before. Ponder Ponder sent it to us on Facebook again, reminded me that it's there. Heritage Apparel STL. They have some other really great shirts. They have Joseph versus Shovel Day, January 21st, 1993. They also have a Monday Night Miracle shirt. So check them out on Facebook. Real quick, really, really great turnaround on this. I ordered this, I think Sunday night at midnight as I was wrapping up work. and it showed up today just in time for the show. So
That's cool.
Yeah,
check 'em out.
That Joseph Chevrolet one, it looks like a fight night shirt. Like if
Yes.
you see the promos for,
Oh, cool.
you know, I'm trying to think of boxers, McGregor versus whoever, like, you know, this day at this time at this arena, you know, and like that's what that shirt looks like, and it's beautiful. And I saw it, and I'm like, yep, I don't care if that costs $80, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
It did not cost $80.
No, it's a for a niche hockey t-shirt, very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
Totally do it.
Yep.
I think everybody who has ever gotten their jersey stuck in that chain link, you need to go out and buy this t-shirt.
I remember playing out there. We rented the thing out, and it was snowing, a freaking blizzard, and it snowed horizontal, and it was down in the corners was snowbanks actually on the rink.
Yep. We didn't have ice girls.
No, did not.
We didn't have Austin's favorite ginger to come out and scrape the corners.
That was a crazy night. It was a late rental because that's when you had to do it. And driving out there was like 15 miles an hour.
That wasn't the night that I opened your brother up for 15 stitches, was it?
No.
It was a different night.
It was a different night. This was the first time we rented it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the second time, that was in the first like 5 minutes.
Yep.
It happened.
Yeah.
And that was like Keith and Christy is like one of their first. They were
dates.
early on.
Very,
they're dating. Yeah, now they're married with 14 kids.
Yeah, they're challenged to the Dugars at this point.
Octomom. Oh, what is that? Keeps hitting the mic. Is that you, Bill?
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. I just keep hearing the clang clang.
Yeah. Sorry. My watch is finally charged.
Okay.
Is that the notification sound?
Yes.
This
ding ding. No, it was right underneath the thing, and I'm 2 beers in. It's really fucking late. I'm tired.
Next game Saturday. Well, after the Rangers game, then they play Saturday at Minnesota, 7 p.m. And Wednesday versus
Let's
Dallas.
hope for a fight night on Saturday night.
Saturday night is all right for fighting. Let's do that at Minnesota. The Wild fans are going to give it to Bennington, so we might as well give them something to, actually really get upset about. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Dallas is in St. Louis at 6:30, and then Thursday the Blues close out the season in Dallas at 7 p.m. Last game of the regular season.
So I'm right in assuming we'll have a show probably Tuesday next week.
Yeah,
correct?
Probably. Yeah, we'll have some kind of a because Friday was not really going to work, but Tuesday sounds good. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. Real quick, Hockey Hall of Fame debuts new exhibit celebrating women's history in the sport. Some legendary players, Angela James and Jana Hefford, were on hand, placing trophies named after them into a display case at the Shrine to Hockey in downtown Toronto. James is the general manager of the Premier Hockey Federation's Toronto Six. Hefford is an operations consultant with the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. And she was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2018. The exhibit includes nearly 100 artifacts from over 130 years of women's hockey history. Some highlights include the Clarkson Cup, Abby Hoffman Trophy, Jana Hefford CWHL MVP Trophy, and Angela James Bowl for the CWHL's top scorer.
Yeah, pretty cool. The Hockey Hall of Fame does exhibits throughout the year, just like any big Hall of Fame or anything like that, any kind of anything that showcases a sport or an event. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Do have a problem though with Angela James. Her team, the Toronto Six, beat our friend of the show, Amanda Levier, in the Isabel Cup final. So screw you, Toronto Six. But we will have Amanda on very soon, actually, probably very early in the summer shows. So expect to hear from Amanda Levier again, who is one of my favorite. You know what? Man, this sounds crazy to say because we've had some excellent guests. She might be my favorite guest we've ever had, and she's a
Wow,
recurring guest now.
We had Zipper Zeppa, or you had Zipper Zeppa on.
Zipper Zeppa. We've had Grant Fior, Bernie Federico, Carlo Koliakovo, who was excellent.
Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown. But man, she is so much fun to just sit and talk hockey with. So stay tuned to that episode. Probably, like I said, maybe end of
Ben
April,
Hockman?
early May.
Ben Hockman had on?
We've had
Angela-
Jeremy Rutherford on
Angela
countless
Sharp,
times.
Jeremy Rutherford.
Luke
Horak was on.
Horak.
Yeah.
Now we're just listing names.
Yeah. It's just,
Vladimir
name it.
Chepeturkin.
You name it, we've had him on. Millen. Greg Millen.
That is one that I've tried to find, actually, is Vladimir Chepeturkin. I want to get him on the show just because of his name.
Steve Bushnevich.
One day.
We should have Bushnevich on and tell him the Steve story.
Yes.
He probably wouldn't think it's near as funny as we do.
He'd probably be like, okay.
Thanks. Who is this?
So you got my name wrong. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, who hasn't? Next question. And to Carson Briere has been removed from Mercyhurst University's NCAA hockey team. The university announced on Monday he is the son of Flyers GM Daniel Briere. News comes after a viral video was released showing Briere pushing an unoccupied wheelchair down a staircase at a bar on March 11th. I guess the only thing worse would be pushing an occupied wheelchair down.
Right.
I should laugh. But yes, that would be much worse.
That would be much worse. Oh my God, that'd be worse. Briere is 23
That would be
years...
making national news.
Oh God, yeah, he'd be in jail. Briere, 23, and Mercyhurst lacrosse player Patrick Carosi were charged on March 20th with criminal mischief, conspiracy to commit criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct, according to Erie County records. And I think Donald Trump's name was on there too. That's one of the,
yes.
He was also he's also indicted for that. One of the 300,000.
Stormy Daniels was actually the one that posted the video. Right.
Trump pushing a wheelchair down the stairs.
But it was a large staircase. It was the best staircase you've ever seen. No, I mean, I know we're cracking jokes here, but as a parent of a special needs child, this one hit me a little harder, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I saw some people saying, so it was unoccupied. Who cares? You don't know where the person was who needs that wheelchair.
Well, chances are, I think he had to be helped down the stairs because the bathroom was downstairs.
It was a lady.
The lady.
Right.
They left the wheelchair at the top of the stairs, and she was helped downstairs to go to the bathroom. And wheelchairs are expensive, and chances are it was damaged. And that was a big staircase, and it tumbled down. Something was bent, broken on, I'm sure, probably. They're thousands of dollars. And
let me ask you guys. I mean, we were all stupid fucking teenagers and late or early 20s. Like, were you ever in a situation where you're like, fuck this wheelchair?
Not that
What the
exact
hell?
scenario. I was, as a kid, I did stupid stuff. I said stupid stuff. I didn't really know what I was saying or doing. Which is kind of why I don't like it when people go back and grab athletes' tweets when they were teenagers, and stuff, and call them out as racists or bigots or whatever. I'm like, that was 15 years ago. I mean, they've matured, hopefully, But anyway, I said and did a lot of stupid stuff. But a wheelchair, I would have never, vandalized somebody's, like, that's
and you guys brought up that the bathrooms at the bottom of the stairs and the female that was using it was down there. He didn't know that.
No,
the person who needed that wheelchair could have been upstairs. I don't know, for whatever reason, got out. Somebody helped him across the dance floor or whatever. They left the wheelchair there. Then they're going to come out to find their wheelchair at the bottom of the fucking stairs. How are they going to get that out? You don't know the situation when you do this shit. So for me, I want to see this kid punished. I'm not saying he needs to spend time in jail or he needs, but the fact that he was removed from the school's team and probably has damaged any hopes he has of playing professional hockey. Sorry, kid.
Well,
sometimes all it takes is one.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how good he is. If it damages his NHL hopes or not. But yeah, no, I like the fact that actions have consequences, right? And this was a stupid action, and it has consequences. So I think if he had known, if I get caught pushing this down the stairs, I'll be kicked off the team. He wouldn't do it. So I think that that part of the punishment is fine. I think he faces other charges too. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm glad he's not getting special treatment because of who he is. I'll say that.
Yeah, it seems like his dad is actually very pissed off at him. Did you see his dad's statement?
No.
He was basically like, because I don't know, I guess he played for the junior Flyers for a while too. So they kind of had to make a statement in that sense. But, Danny Briere is the GM of the Flyers. And he basically said that, he has spoken with his son and he is he understands that it was not the right call. But if you read the statement closely, you see it as a very disappointed dad. I'm like, good for you, Danny Briere.
And, and again, let's look back. From the other side of the coin, he is kind of was 23. Yeah. 23. He's not exactly a kid. I mean, he's young, but he's not a kid. So he should know better. I would say if he was 18 or something, or 17, that's a little different story. But he's an adult. So, I mean, he's 2 years away from getting cheaper insurance. So he's an adult.
He can almost get into Dave & Buster's and bring in underage children with him.
So, part of me is like, well, he'll grow out of it. He should know better. I'm like, yeah, you're 23. Man, you're kind of maybe who you are at 23 to some degree. I don't know. Maybe you're still pretty young or immature. I don't know. Could have been just drunk too. Stupid drunk thing.
And that's probably what it was. I've done plenty of stupid drunk shit, but man, again, fucking with somebody's wheelchair.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, and I get it. It's just you can't allow that to slide. It's on video. You got to punish him.
Yep.
Hopefully, that's not the kind of person he is. Hopefully, he was drunk and stupid and not in his right mind, and would never do this again, and has learned, his lesson or whatever. I don't know, but we'll see. Producer Austin goes on assignment for 2 weeks, so he'll be. It's written here. He will be missed for that time missed. Really?
Okay, kid, what are you doing for 2 weeks?
I am going on a 2-week road trip.
For 2 weeks?
Yes.
A 2-week road trip for 2 weeks?
You're going with your dad. That's right. That's adorable.
Yeah, it's adorable, and they're going to go 350 miles a day. Right? You're taking your dad's Tesla.
And yes.
Is that the range limit?
It takes about 10 to 20 minutes to charge, and you're on good.
That's it? 10 to 20 minutes?
Yeah. That's
not back to full, but till you need to get to the next charger, and then it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I saw a guy taking a trip in a Tesla, and he was being told where the next charging station was, and he was getting close. He think, okay, I can make this if I can make that. And he gets there, and it was outdated info, and it was like an old shop that was no longer around. There was no charging station, so he's got 10 miles left to go, and he's like, I got to find a thing, and he couldn't find it. So make sure your charging stations are where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, my dad, he does a lot of research before doing all this.
Can you get portable ones that'll just give you a couple extra miles and that kind of thing? No,
you can plug one. So there is a way that you can plug it into a wall, like a regular wall outlet, but
charges slower though, right?
Very slow. Right. You get 1% every 2 hours, every 3 hours.
What?
Yeah,
that's slow.
I feel like that sounds accurate.
So when you guys stop overnight, do you do that just to why not?
Yeah, he'll plug in because it's free. It's just at the hotel, but then we'll stop at a charger later on in the day.
Okay.
It's there's a charging station, a level 1 charging station in Troy, Kurt, at the Holiday Inn.
We have a Holiday Inn.
Yes. It's right over there by Taco Bell.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I had a brain freeze there. And there's a charging station. Free, or you gotta is it in the lot? I guess.
It is. I think you have to stay there, but I don't know. I can't imagine.
I think you can. You
that
probably
many.
charge.
Or maybe
Yeah,
you
there's
use your room
that-
card.
There's that much demand for it.
Yeah, maybe not so much in Troy. Although you do see a lot of Teslas in Edwardsville.
Yeah.
So
That's the last 3 years. It's almost like being in California.
yeah, they're multiplying.
Matt, I'll message you. I'll actually be in Tucson on the 15th.
Ooh, might have a little Let's
So-
Go Blues Radio meetup.
Without you
How
guys.
about that?
Wait, why'd you
Yeah.
change my name, you jackass?
I didn't
Tournament
change
Losers
anything. What are you talking about?
All right.
That was Chat GPT that did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ChatGPT did that.
It
It's
just
taking
knows.
over.
I think it's hilarious. You just now noticed. I did that
says-
like 2 hours
When
It
ago.
says tournament loser dumbass. Is what
When
it
I
says.
rejoined, because I fucked up the ad roll,
Yeah.
I changed it to producer dumbass.
No. Now it says tournament
Tournament
loser,
loser.
dumbass.
Whatever.
I
can't wait till,
I like how the dumbass part was the acceptable part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I can't
I'm
wait
fine
till
with the
Jason
dumbass
Miller, crappy goalie, hears this episode. He's gonna laugh his ass off.
Cheating bitch.
Yeah, right.
All right. And so when do you leave, Austin?
I leave Monday morning at like 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. Nice.
6 in the morning. Yeah.
That's completely different than afternoon delight.
6 is good. I like 6. How about 6? Some Seinfeld, Austin. I'm sure you don't know that. All right, we wrapping the show up now. We done. It's over 2 hours. Austin, let us go long again.
We didn't have ChatGPT write our ending. We should have done that.
We should have. Maybe next week.
Yep.
Maybe next week.
Hold on.
Hold on for what?
I think he wants to do it, but it's too late, Austin. We're not sitting around and waiting.
Yeah, and plus you got to proofread it and everything.
Yeah. All right. I think we just close normal.
Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com. And get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Visit strikewithmike.com today for all of your home buying and selling needs. That's strikewithmike.com. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer stores for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That will wrap up episode. This is an old copy. What episode are we on? 30. Do you know? 31. Episode 31 of season 11 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, wear the jersey. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues. Let's go City.
All for City, baby. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?